organization could contribute to the UN global agendas. And we also have a global local urban footprint task, mainly participated by the China, European Commission, Germany, Greece, Italy, and so on and so forth. This is also contributed to the post-2015 UN Assembly agreed on the developing agenda. So I think these are just a part of our task. There are many other areas like biodiversity, water, ecosystem, and weather, and so on and so forth. So that I just introduced only 3 examples. Those are the really close related with your project, which I think that related to the OpenStreetMap utilization might be expected. And again, this is just introduced about how GEO is going to engage with those high-level UN mandate. We have been approaching to the SDG, post-2050 global agenda, and we have already approaching to UNGG and the global geospatial community, and we have already communicated with the UN World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction in the Sendai Conference, so on and so forth. So I'm going to skip this one, but we have a lot of events and during the Sendai Framework on Disaster Risk Reduction meetings. And I'm just turning over to the different topic, but this is critically important for the GEO's development. That each GEO member and participating organization needs to ensure their own data policy and as much more full open exchange of the data and data products at the minimum time delay and minimum cost and free of charge or cost of reproduction. So this is a basic principle. And it's not a rule for their participation to the GEOs, but it's a guidance or it's a principles to just we encourage to member and PO to follow these principles and makes more effort to open the data. And just example, the Landsat data, as you may know, that they open the data since 2008, and once open data policy has been made, the access is going to be exponentially increased from 53 scenes per day to 5,700 scenes per day. And this also affects the economic benefits. Believe or not, the US $1.7 billion for increase in economic benefits, and the global total is 2.5 billion, or 2.1 billion US dollars. So these are the kind of examples in a good way for the open data. And how the GEOs and we call the GCI, Geos Common Infrastructure, will work on this. Notionally, we have a one-stop access portal, we call the GEOS portal, and the access broker and the registries, and all the observation data, information, and services will accumulate it and register into the GCI, so that nice societal benefit users can access through the GEOS portal. And the more functional architecture, how GCI works, and we have a portal, GEOS portal, one-stop portal. There you can access to our GEO home pages, and there is a GEO central search engine, core engine we call the GeoDAG, Discovery Access Broker, which brokers to the around the world. We have a variety of the data providers like satellite community and WMO information systems, and the one geology and the ocean community and biodiversity community, etc. So that are all contributed to GEOS, and we broker and makes data discoverable and accessible through the GeoDAG. And then we have recently a couple of collaboration with the private sector. We have a collaboration with the Digital Globe and the BlackBridge. Those are the commercial satellite data providers. They provide to us a catalog information so that we can search for their footprint in their acquired data. So, and then we have a collaboration with the Esri about they can provide the public data. So, and we also provide their all free open data to Esri ArcGIS Online. Just showing about how our GEOS asset can be increased since the last couple of years. exponentially increasing after introducing about the brokering approach, and then we are now having 174 million data sets available, discoverable, but we are not sure if those data are accessible. We are certainly, assured about the discoverability, but accessibility is still on the issue because of the data policy. And I just want to quickly show about the introduction to about the activity on the architecture implementation pilot we call the AIP, that is allow for the developer and deploy a new process infrastructure components for GCI for more broader GEOS architecture. So just listed. This is a voluntary contribution. So we have a yearly AIP process, and now we have in the AIP 8, and then a couple of Peter and Slayer participating in the past AIP process. Now we are AIP 8 years already. So, and then right now we have 20 projects participating to utilizing the GEOS resources and also try to develop their apps for using the observation informations. Okay, so this is just trying to show about how the GCI providing, making data available in the different standards, and also supporting for their apps to develop. Of course, we have a GEOS portal, but certainly we have a variety of the other community, so-called the community portals, community services, to allow to access to the GEO resources, so that we supported a variety of the interface protocol, not just only for the OGC, but also other standards can allow to access to the GEOS resources. So, and I just alluded about we have already started some sort of commercial collaboration. We would like to enhance about the private sector involvement to the GEOS. And we recognize about there are 3 layers for the private sector the data providers, such as a Digital Global and BlackBridge for the separate commercial users, commercial providers. And we, of course, having value-added providers such as Google. I think OpenStreetMap is a kind of second layer, value-added providers. If not, please let me know. And we, of course, have a downstream users, lots of consulting company and final end users to utilizing the information from derived from classification. And now we are entering into the new GEO framework. So given the time is going to up, I'm going to speed up my presentation. Because of the, we have already is coming to ending up our first 10-year implementation plan. We are now planning to develop a next 10-year implementation plan starting from 2016. So, I just skipping for, and I just want to make just one slide to introduce about, because of the, just for the analogy of the how the data volumes and the users in relations. Because we are now talking about, in this phase, I think, observation data, raw data, is users is much more IT experts. And now we are entering about more data to information phases, how the essential variable to make valuable data sets is now being produced. So that data volume is going to less, but the user is going to much more increasing. But we still need to work about more data to information. So that data volume is going to get less, but we are going to get involved more decision making process. So these areas are not IT experts, but certainly GEO needs to aim to from the data to information, so that human society will be benefit in this way. So anyway, finally I'd like to announce about our GEO plenary and ministerial summit will be held in Mexico City in November 9 to 13. A couple of people have already invited, but certainly I'd like to have some discussion. If you have a time, you have a, good to come through your member country and participate in the nation. And I have a point of contact you to discuss about if you'd like to come to this event. So I'd like to invite as a guest